Barrel racing was Reba McEntire's first love, a dream she chased with determination. From an early age, she envisioned herself at the top of the sport, a world champion riding with precision and speed. That same drive carried over to her music career. Reba approached country music with the same dedication, building a reputation over decades as reliable, gracious, and untouchable. Known for her calm demeanor, she never raised her voice, burned bridges, or revealed the industry's hidden politics. Her professionalism became legendary, a shield that allowed her to navigate Nashville's competitive environment while quietly carrying her own burdens. A public breaking point. For more than 40 years, Reba remained the symbol of grace under pressure. She endured hurt, replacement, and erasure without complaint. Yet, even the most patient hearts have limits. At a milestone celebration of the Grand Ole Opry, Reba experienced a breaking point. Surrounded by cameras and music legends, she finally revealed a betrayal long hidden. A powerful figure had deliberately worked against her. It wasn't gossip or bitterness, it was truth spoken calmly by someone who had been pushed too far. That moment shook Nashville. Reba's willingness to speak publicly suggested deeper wounds that silence could no longer protect. The Betrayal by Tanya Tucker. The first name on Reba's list of unforgivable betrayals is Tanya Tucker. Their relationship had once been one of mutual respect. Both women endured sexism and dismissal in the male-dominated world of country music. Behind the scenes, they shared frustrations, offered advice, and spoke openly about the barriers they faced. But in 2014, during an all-female tribute honoring country music pioneers, Reba's absence was conspicuous. Tanya responded publicly with a single sentence: "Not everyone gets an invite to the party." The comment trivialized Reba's decades of contributions and amplified the humiliation. It was clear, deliberate, and permanent, marking a turning point in their relationship. History of public humiliation. Reba's grievances with Tanya stretched back decades. In the mid-1990s, she was quietly removed from a shared hosting role at a major country music Hall of Fame event. Industry insiders alleged that Tanya's team had secured exclusive access to the media in exchange for making Tanya the sole host. Reba never protested publicly. She absorbed the insult and moved on. But the 2014 incident reopened old wounds. By posting a dismissive remark publicly, Tanya amplified the humiliation, ensuring it would be remembered and searchable. For Reba, this wasn't rivalry. It was a deliberate act of erasure, showing a lack of respect for a lifetime of achievement. Cutting all ties. After the public comment, Reba stopped all contact with Tanya. No calls, no explanations, no attempts at reconciliation. Years later, when asked about female rivalries in country music, Reba said only, "I believe in lifting each other up. I also believe people show you who they are." Tanya's actions had revealed her true character in Reba's eyes. It wasn't the loss of a spotlight that hurt. It was the mockery and public erasure. The silence that followed was powerful. Reba chose dignity over drama, closing a chapter quietly but decisively. It became a defining lesson in trust, respect, and the cost of betrayal in a competitive industry. The silence of Vince Gill. The second name on Reba's list is Vince Gill. Their fractured relationship began at the 2001 CMA Awards. Reba was scheduled for a televised duet, rehearsed and approved down to the smallest detail. Yet hours before the final performance, her name vanished from the set list. The duet went forward with Vince performing alone. No warning, no explanation, no apology. The silence hurt more than the replacement itself. Reba had never demanded favoritism, only respect. The absence of acknowledgement signaled, in her eyes, consent or orchestration. From that night on, formal interactions replaced warmth, collaboration ceased, and trust evaporated, leaving a wound that was quiet yet permanent. Lessons in professional betrayal. Reba later described the incident with Vince succinctly. "The silence was louder than any insult." That single line reflected her principle. Respect is earned, and ignoring someone's contributions is a betrayal. Industry insiders confirmed that even a minor objection could have prevented the public humiliation, yet nothing happened. Reba interpreted the omission as a deliberate act. The lesson was clear. Powerful figures can erase someone quietly, and a lack of response is often complicity. Her ability to maintain composure in the public eye only made the private pain more intense. Trust in the industry became conditional, and she learned the cost of disappearing without a word. The quiet damage of Travis Tritt. The third figure tied to a lasting fracture in Reba's life is Travis Tritt. Unlike public slights, this betrayal occurred behind closed doors. In the early 2000s, Reba was invited to join a high-profile all-star country project. What seemed like a prestigious opportunity became a source of quiet humiliation. Decisions were made without her input, power wielded in secrecy. Reba was deliberately sidelined, left to navigate disappointment alone. There were no headlines, no gossip, just subtle acts of exclusion and erasure. These experiences, though private, cut deeply because they relied on control, institutional leverage, and the manipulation of trust, forces invisible to the public but devastating to those who endure them. Patterns of industry betrayal. Across decades, Reba McEntire experienced a pattern of quiet erasure, public mockery, and deliberate omission. Each betrayal shared a common thread: silence, concealment, and abuse of power. Whether in the form of a dismissive social media post, being removed from a stage without explanation, or being excluded from elite collaborations, the underlying harm was intentional. Reba's response was never reactive. She never lashed out. Instead, she closed doors, withdrew trust, and preserved dignity. Her silence was a protective shield, but it also became a language of its own, signaling that respect, acknowledgement, and fairness are non-negotiable. Strength in saying the truth. Reba's courage to speak publicly at the Grand Ole Opry signaled a turning point. For decades, she had been the face of grace under pressure, never revealing the harsh truths of her world. That moment, however, was different. Speaking openly about deliberate sabotage, she challenged the culture of silence in country music. It was not revenge or gossip, it was truth-telling. By naming her experiences, she gave voice to countless untold stories of women navigating the industry. Her revelation sent a clear message: certain betrayals cannot be ignored, and silence is no longer a shield, but a limitation. The legacy of resilience. Reba McEntire's story is one of resilience, dignity, and unwavering principle. She endured public humiliation, silent betrayal, and systemic erasure without losing her poise. Her experiences remind us that power can be wielded quietly, and respect is often the currency most fiercely tested. Yet her legacy is not defined by those who wronged her, but by how she carried herself through decades of challenges. She protected her integrity, remained a champion in her own right, and ultimately used her voice to reveal truths that might otherwise have stayed hidden. Her courage continues to inspire. Speaking truth and preserving history, Reba McEntire proves that silence, while sometimes protective, cannot shield us indefinitely from injustice. Through decades of industry politics, betrayals, and erasure, she maintained her dignity, even when recognition was withheld. Her decision to finally speak out was not about revenge. It was about truth and accountability. By exposing deliberate patterns of behavior, she ensured history would remember both her achievements and the forces that tried to diminish them. Some legends fade quietly, but others, like Reba, stop protecting lies and insist that the truth be known, leaving a legacy of integrity and strength.